here at Game 3 after an hour drive. Could have saved myself the time by, recording this 5th place deck profile at the event. But you know what? I'm a dumbass. Okay, we made it inside. I'm here with Faysal, 5th place here at Nats, the new king of Canada. We made it all the way.
Yes, sir.
Only person he lost to was the guy who took it all, so if there's anybody to lose to, that's the one to do it to.
Back-to-back champ.
Yeah.
Champ last year, so definitely the best in the game right now.
Yeah, it was an insane last match too. It was just down to the last combo. Like, it was nuts.
Game 2, I lost by 5k, I think, and game 3. Their deck is designed to beat this, so you can get him down, but that last life is like impossible to take off.
No.
Life 2 and 3, he's very good. He knows exactly what he's doing, so it's a very close game, but of course he won at the end.
Well, let's see what this deck is. You brought one of the boogeymen that everyone was preparing for.
Yeah.
And let's bring it down here.
So the leader we played was SS4 Goku Vegeta. Pretty sure everybody knows about this deck already. So he has a permanent. You can combo your red Saiyans in rest mode, which is very clutch. The only leader in the game that's ever done that. And he has a once per turn effect where when I combo with the card, I can search the top 3 and add any red Saiyan, or I can add a 2-cost Unison. And then you awaken once you have a Goku and a Vegeta in your Z energy, which is very easy to do. And then same permanent on this side, combo Saiyans and rest. Now when you activate fusion once per turn, your leader gains Gogeta GT as well. And then when you swing, same thing, just draw a card, play 1-drop in rest mode. And then yeah, first card we're going through is the Unison we played in the deck, which is the Unison that came with the deck. This Unison is extremely good. The amount of value this Unison generates you per turn is insane. So when he's played, you search top 3 for any red card. So you can search your SCRs, of course, any pieces you're missing, any negates you need. Yeah, really good. And then +2, play a 1 red battle card in rest mode, the cost of 1, which in this deck draws you a lot of cards. And the -4, actually never got to use it this tournament. I guess everybody's ready for it. But activate battle when you swing. You can give him +15k power at double strike. Would have been nice if we got it up, but got black smoked a lot. Everybody's waiting for this Unison, so I still would keep this Unison, but just expect black smoke to come up every game. But yeah. And then we'll go through our 1-drops. So first one is the one that came with the spaceship Goku. Just a generic searcher. Look top 5 for any of your red Saiyans 4 or less, which is essentially your entire deck except for your SRs and things like that. But yeah, it's a cool turn 1 play going first. I like to play this going first because you get to look at the top, keep him on the board, and then combo him off to get your top search. So if you're going first turn 1, I definitely always keep this card.
And this is the only actual 1-drop you have in the deck, right?
Besides Crown, this is one.
Besides Crown, oh yeah, you have still Crown too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And then we'll go through the 1-drops. So we have 4 Gokus. When he's played, you draw a card. They get played in rest. And then when you combo him, you draw another card. So they just get you through 2 cards in your deck, which is definitely good. Same thing with the Vegeta counterpart. So we play 4 of the Vegeta as well. So same thing, just play it, draw, and then combo it, draw. Besides that, it doesn't serve any other purpose. Serves fusion purposes as well. But yeah, you just go through these very quickly. And then we also play the 3 Vegeta searchers. So this Vegeta searches out the combo pieces if you need it, and then also there's another Goku in the deck that this card searches out. So yeah, in your opening hand, if you don't see this Goku or the other Goku and you see this, you just keep this in and search the pieces that you need. Comes out a lot during the game, so I definitely recommend 3. Next card we'll go to is the 20k crit Vegetas. Honestly, you'll probably never play this card. I think I played it like once, maybe. He's more just fusion pieces or just using your leader's effect to search top 3. Like when you mix this with Wolfang, you could kill something 30 or less if they swing with it. So like they'll play a card, you can play this in battle after you Wolfang the card, so minus a 30k. Like theoretically it's okay, but it never comes up. But he's more or less there just for fusion pieces. He's probably like one of the worst cards in the deck, but yeah.
That's why 3 of?
Yeah. I actually was debating it at 2, but he basically just gets sided out every game. Just 1 of. And then next is the Goku, who's a double striker. So him and Vegeta get played the exact same way. So it's basically a rival. If I have a Goku in combo, I pay 1 to play Vegeta. And then if I have a Vegeta in combo, I pay 1 to play Goku. So you play this on turn 2. Is optimally you want to play the Goku the same turn you play your Unison, just to put as much pressure as you can. So when Goku's played, you draw a card, which is why I like him more than Vegeta. When Vegeta played, he doesn't replace itself. And in this deck, I value double strike a lot more than crit because you want to be as aggressive as possible. So the crit is kind of irrelevant. The double strike is always the better play in my opinion with this deck because you're obviously an aggressive deck. So we definitely max out on this. And then they both have effects as well, where if they're in rest mode, you can pay 1 and this becomes a double strike chomp on your deck. And this will only give you a 10k in crit. That hasn't come up in Nats. I've done it before, but you will rarely ever use that effect. And then we have the red Senzu Bean, which is Goku digging deep. So when your life is at 4 or less, you just combo him and he gives any red card you want plus 5k for the turn, which you will always give it to your leader. So essentially on defense, if you do see this, your leader is just 20k defensively, which is then again a lot kind of hard to break through for some decks that are like 15k decks.
Oh, it snapped. Stop me.
Yeah. And then next card we have going forward is for the matchup for blue. We have 3 Broly Crowns. A lot like against Gamma, they just counterplay it, but it forces them to play out the 18. And if they don't have an answer, usually just snipe super combos or pieces that you think they'll use next turn. So it's definitely a good card, but blue players are ready for Crown. But I'll still keep it at 3. I wouldn't go to 4. And then super combo of choice for the deck is Raditz. I was playing Vegeta prior to Nats because you do draw a lot, but the filter Raditz gives you is just extra filter because you do go through essentially 5 cards per turn with your leader playing a 1-drop, which is these guys in your Unison as well. And then Raditz, you'll see every card in your deck for sure, like every game. So Raditz, everybody knows, once you're at 4 or less life, bottom 1, draw 2. So if you have extra copies of Unisons or extra cards that you don't need, just bottom those and then filter through more cards.
I know it's weird seeing Raditz when you saw it all the time, and then people got Beerus on their hands. I mean, this deck, obviously, Raditz is searchable by so many things, right?
Yeah, that's also why I picked him. Yeah, definitely searchable with the top 4 Goku, searchable with your Unison. So yeah.
Yeah, seeing that with when you're on stream and stuff, when you're top 3ing with the Unison, it's like, oh, super combo, and then come with the Goku, oh, super combo. Okay, that's really good.
Usually against like Sin and things like where you're gonna need a defense, it's just nice to be able to search it and just hold it. Sometimes you do get stuck at 6, so we do have surmounting in our Z deck, but no, I'll still always recommend. I wouldn't change Raditz to Beerus or anything. Just having a searchable super combo is too good. And I don't see a lot of other SS4 decks playing this, but we run 2 Go-10s. It's basically another version of this, but 5k less. So if you're at 3 or more energy, you can tap 1, play Go-10 and draw a card. So again, it replaces itself. Every time we play stuff, we want to be able to replace it to keep our hand size big. It's a 15k double striker. A lot of times, like if your board is already wiped, if they've done a good job wiping your board, good players will somehow negate so you don't get the combo step, because this deck is very, very, very combo centric. So if you have no combo step, he will be able to, like if they've used their negates already, you just tap 1, play him, and then you can swing and then go back into your combo step and play out the Gokus. If it comes up, you'll play the Vegeta, but more or less you'll play the Goku. It's also good to bait out the Boo Unison. I've done it basically every time Boo's out. I'll just tap 1, play Go-10, swing, and they usually just bottom deck him first. And then we'll go out and we'll play our Goku, we'll play our Z battle cards. But yeah, I think this card is very good. I would definitely recommend playing him as well. And then we have probably our least played card at Nats, our SR 8-drop. Every matchup was basically blue. So against blue, he's more or less unplayable because they all just have 30% weighting. The card is definitely a nutty card, but unfortunately we didn't get to play it much. So when he costs 4 to fusion using a Goku or Vegeta, that's why we have so many. So we use basically the whole deck. Pitch them for Union Fusion, draw a card and play him out. And then he can attack cards in active mode because your leader has that effect. When you fuse, you get Gogeta GT skills. So he's able to attack cards in active mode, and then your opponent can defend. So essentially he's a complete board wipe. And the fact that he's not affected by any Gogeta GT skills is insane. Like nothing touches him. And then when you swing, they can only activate super combo skills. So if you've done a lot of pressure early game and they've been forced to use their super combo, they have to use, I believe, 3 or 4 cards to out combo, which is of course always good. But against blue, again, it's hard to establish this guy because he'll just get dirty bursted. But besides other matchups than blue, he's definitely good. I think I casted him only 2 or 3 times at Nats because every matchup I had was blue, which is the hardest matchup for this deck is blue. So against other things like green, it's free. Against other red matchups, it clears the board. Like against Sin, like you just play this and clear their board. And then going in the mirror match, the way I think about it is whoever plays this first loses. So against the mirror match, you never want to play the 8-drop first. You want to make your opponent play the 8-drop and then play this after, so you'll clear theirs, and then you want to force them to Z-Awaken. So always hold this in the mirror. Unless you know you can kill them, I would not recommend playing this first going in the mirror match. That's a big no-no. And then we have our one of secret rare, fortunately, Yamcha. He's definitely, I wish he was at 3. That would have been better. But yeah, we can only play him at 1, so we play him at 1. And then we have our other counter plays. Beerus Ball. He was there for yellow just to get past Robotic Riposte, or for less life, and Gamma. They have their new tech, the Gohan Floodgate. So use him for that. Other than that, though, he gets tired out a lot because he's just useless in those matchups against like a lot of blue. There's no 15k cards that I really found the need to Beerus Ball. So it's just there for yellow essentially and the new Gohan card. But you still want to have 2 in main just in case, because you want to have a strong game 1. Next, our overrealm of choice. It is Dark Broly. This card's great when you swing with something and your opponent testing. And then if you don't have Yamcha, you just play Dark Broly and warp their blocker. Also for the new Gohan SCR, that card is extremely good. So what you'll do is if you're versing blue and they run that secret rare, you basically just hold Broly, and then as soon as they play their Gohan, the first thing you do that turn is just play this and warp their secret rare. So that came up for me like in game 1, because that Gohan secret rare is extremely good. So yeah, so it's either for like getting rid of secret rares that are troublesome, or more or less it's just to get rid of token blockers. And then going on to our other set of black cards, there's 2 Black Smokes in the main deck. A lot of people don't play Black Smoke in the main deck, they prefer Kaioken. I just think this card is he has more tools, I would say. So the barrier move was very good against yellow. Like if you get slugged, this deck like kind of just shuts off, and a good player who establishes slug will just continuously negate your swing to slug. Even if they get their life down early, you'll play the game with like 2 or 3 cards in hand, which has happened to me in round 7 against Russell. He established slug, and then I just could not swing his slug. He just negated every time, and I did not see my answers to that. So yeah, if yellow establishes slug and you have no way to get rid of it, the game's done. Like, you'll play the game with no cards in hand.
Because literally this whole deck is based on drawing when you play drawing. Like
you draw 5 cards a turn with this deck. Like if your Unison is out, every turn you're drawing 5 cards a turn. You'll have like there's games around usually like 15, 16 cards in hand, and when slug is out, you play the game with like 4 or 5 cards, just basically drawing 1 card a turn, which sucks. But
We saw that on stream too. That's the blue Z battle card that makes
Oh,
you drop
nice.
down to 10. You literally drop like 7 or 8 cards from hand when Dovale played. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. That happened to me in day one as well, I think, once. So yeah, once that happened, if you know you're playing blue, you can just combo cards offensively, so you'll keep your hand, let's say, at like 12 or 13 cards, so the Goku doesn't feel as bad. So that way you put more pressure on them, and then they, even if they play it out, dumping 2 or 3 cards honestly is fine. Like, you'll probably have an extra copy of a Unison, like a Beerus Ball, or just some more cards you don't need. So yeah. And then our negate package, we have 3 testing the op. Like every deck now has at least like 3 or 4 copies of this negate. This negate's absolutely amazing. Negate an attack and then get a blocker. So it's take a life and stop 2 attacks. So I like to think about it. And then our other negate is our Wolf Fang Fist. Since we do have a Unison out turn 2, more times than not. So the reason I put this card in the deck was for the red mirror matches. If someone attacks Rush Attack Vegeta, which a lot of people attack with it just blindly, you just Wolf Fang and card's gone. Against Gamma, that Barrier 17 card is gone. But no, I definitely recommend 2 of this. And then our last negate is going to be, well, it's supposed to be 2 Imposing Presences. Imposing is also a very, I was trying out Unending Awakening originally, but went back to Imposing, and I think that was the best choice I've made, especially against the Sin matchup. So against Sin, you'll establish your Unison, and then you'll just leave 1 energy open, so that when they swing, you Imposing, and then that turn is basically more or less done. If they swing with their double strike guy, you want Imposing his swing, but then if they're running like things like Deluge, Trunks, and things like that, or if they see their super combo, if they're playing the Beerus one, it's a little bit tough. But this helps out so much in that matchup. And then against other decks, like once you're at 4 or less life, once you use Imposing and this Goku, your leader is 25k, because you get +5 for this, and every time they swing, they get -5. So it's very hard to break through that. Very, very hard. And then last card in the deck is our secret rare of choice, which is Vegeta secret rare. Shout out to one of my friends, actually. I was playing Vegeta at first. Then I switched to Vegeta not too long before Nats, and it was the greatest decision I could have made, because this deck again struggles hard against blue, so Vegeta helps out a ton in that matchup. I definitely, if I had a Vegeta on this, I definitely was not topping, like guaranteed. So I think Vegeta is a better play, because theoretically what you want to do is have them at 4, play Defender of Life, burn them to 3, swing with Defender of Life from 3 to 1, and then defend, and then play this next turn and burn for 1. Again, you have to be very, very careful against yellow and now blue. If blue has blue Unison, swing with this is just a death wish. And then also then you Gohan SGR, because blue will be able to find a way to untap 3, and then they'll just play him and bottom deck your secret rare. That happened to me in practice against a friend, Buriar, actually, and I dumped hand and he just bottom decked it. So definitely better in practice than it was at Nats. So against blue, you'll just play him and then use his effect immediately just to minus their leader by 5k for the turn, and then completely wipe their board. You get rid of annoying blue Unison, you clear their board as well, and they crit a life, which is amazing. They don't get it out to hand. And then against yellow, you never swing this against yellow because they have Final Flash and then Release from Evil. So against those 2 colors, I don't swing with Vegeta. I just play him and use his effect immediately. Against red, definitely swing. Against green, you can swing. Against black, if you see black, you swing. But against other color, the other 2, so against red, against yellow and blue, you just play him and then use his effect immediately. And yeah, this card is definitely the MVP of this deck. Shout out to my wife Ashley for buying me this card before Nats. So yeah, that is all the cards we play in the main deck. We play a 55 card deck. I usually like to keep my decks around like 52 to 54 max, but with this deck you can even deck out at 55, so definitely 55 is fine. Yeah,
that's crazy. Me playing a deck that doesn't draw this much was at 54 and it felt clunky, but you're running at 55 and you're almost milling yourself out.
Yeah, 55, because it's essentially, as long as your Unison stays out, you go 5 cards a turn. Very
Yeah.
easy. Because a plus, draw a card, combo. When you plus, you play him, draw a card, combo, draw a card, leader swing, draw a card, play one of these, draw a card, combo it off, draw another card. And then like when you play your Goku, you play him, he replaces himself, you draw one. So yeah. And then we'll go through our Z deck, I'll say. So Z deck, we have 2 Defender of Life, Goku. I used to like the Rush Attack Vegeta a lot, but against blue, this card is so good. You just play him, burn a life, and like if they've hashed or whatever, I'll still just play him just to make them take a life because I can't swing anymore that turn. A lot of people aren't playing hatch anymore, they're playing the new Goku SCR and Gohan SCR. So yeah, like I said, theoretically you burn it from 4 to 3. He has barrier on him, so you can swing, and if they don't negate, you can combo pretty heavily, get him to 1, and then just play defense. You have your testing ops available, Wolfang, Imposing, Yamcha for defense, and then pay this and then just win by burning for 1. Next card we have is 3 Rush Attack Vegeta. I used to love this card a lot, but in Nats, I think I played him twice only, because then I get all my matchups for blue. But he's still really good. He helps get rid of Unisons, gets rid of token negates as well. So we have him at 3, and then we have our surmounting because we don't like to be stuck at 6. So he'll get us down to 5. And then of course, last but not least, our Z leader.
Your 3rd secret rare.
3rd secret rare. We don't go into him as much. Sometimes, like, what you want to do, if you know you can out combo somebody's combo to like 80k, 70k, it's better to just keep your cards in hand and then just Z leader as is, and then that way you're safe. You'll skip your charge phase, of course, but if you have like an overwhelm in hand, that's a swing, and your leader swing, and then you have cards in hand for defense, so you'll have like a couple super combos, you have a bunch of these guys in hand, like a Yamcha just in case they play something. So yeah, if you're gonna be playing a Z leader, don't combo your hand and then Z awaken after. Just Z awaken off rip if you know you can beat it, and then at least that way you have a hand. And then our side deck, we have 3 Shins. I had him originally at 2 in the main, but I don't want too many black cards, so we took him out, and thankfully so, because we didn't see red in that much. We see a lot of blue, so this is really good in the mirror, going second especially. Just play him, they kind of play with the 8-drop. Against Sin, they can play their 8-drop as well. So going second, you play this even like turn 2 and turn 3 if you like. But I'd recommend keeping 1 up for this instead of this guy. So this is better on turn 3 than going to turn 4. Then we also have Violent Rays. Once again, this is more for Sin or like against SS3 Reboot or something that just plays a lot of 30k cards, which SS3 Reboot does. Against Sin, of course, it's very good. We have the, like, let's use this card on our sideboard. The board ritual at hand. Just in case some like Magenta or something, like early rounds people play random decks. So I did not want to lose to some sort of hand control early on. So we had it just in case. We have our 3rd Imposing in the side. We'll bring this in against Sin again. Bring it in against blue because it hits blue hard. You just have to be careful of Golden Avenger. But yeah, and then the mirror match will bring this in as well. And then this could hit Sin players, so like in order for the 8-drop to swing, they'll have to get minus 5k, and if they have not done their plus 5k yet, Sin can't swing because the cost is to minus 5k, which he can't do because he'll get plus. So if that happens, this card is good. We have our 2 Divine Presences. This is good, great against blue because they can't use an SGR to get rid of him. Blue Unison can't touch him, so 30k dual attack is extremely good. We have our 1 Hidden Ambition, just in case we've seen something. So this is a red counter, in case we see in green, or if blue tries to use D magic, we could use that. And then the last 3 cards, which I borrowed, I don't have with me right now, was Mai. You played against every blue matchup, and then they have to now think harder against D magic because Mai is there. So Mai says if your opponent untaps an energy due to a counter skill, then they burn a life or they add a life to hand, and then they get rid of 1 energy as well. So that helps out in the blue matchups. But yeah, that's the sideboard. That's everything we have. So our matchups for Nats round 1 was red, blue, crimson, Goku. That was actually very close. I almost lost that one because I didn't really rate how good the Gohan is. So that was a very close game. Round 2 was Broly VR. Round 3, I believe, was SS3 reboot. Shout out to Jordan Beard actually from Crossworlds. We were versing him actually for Team Wars, and my team was playing SS3 and he's playing SS4, and I just seen how to steamroll SS3. So big shout out to him because that definitely helped our Nats. We versed Ramku as well, and then we had a mirror match, and then our first loss was to 821 Rohit, who went undefeated that day. He's a very good player. And then I also lost one game to Russell on Crossworlds. He was playing Kidku, shut me out that game. And then we also versed Trunks Vegeta, and then I think that was all our matchups, unless I'm forgetting one.
All the Swiss matchups, and then you had the top.
And then top cut, we versed Rohit round 1, playing 821. We then versed Sin in round of 16. And then round of top 8, we versed Andrew Dovale, and then lost there. And yeah, those were our matchups. Shout out to Game 3 for sponsoring us, and Team Deck Planet as well. To everybody who's helped tested me. I played this deck a lot, like since it came out. It's the only deck I played. So to everyone who helped me test, give a shout out to them. Mainly like Biryar, who I played a ton of. Yuvraj, who helped me come up with some of the list. I had a lot of questions for him because I never played red before this deck came out. So I had to bother him a lot. Probably annoyed him a lot too in terms of tech choices and ratios and things like that. So shout out to him. And then yeah, thanks so much for watching.